Hello and welcome to the Elemental Entrepreneurship Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah, and I'm coming to you live with the Aquarius Season Reading for the collective. If you're watching live on YouTube or on Instagram, welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. If you see me looking different places, there's a couple things going on. One is that I'm live in two places at once, and so I'll look at both cameras and check both chats. The other is that I have notes, and so sometimes you might see me look over here and I'm looking at my notes. Um, all right. I want to start with saying that if you're listening to this on the podcast, you may notice we're a couple weeks into January and I haven't put out an episode of the podcast since December 29th. I am going through some rebranding behind the scenes. I'm going through some shifts and some changes, and some of that will include the podcast. And so I've been in a little bit of a cocoon, a little chrysalis around the podcast. So I thank you for your patience and just know that more episodes are coming soon. New exciting things are coming, and I thank you for hanging with me as I sort this out. Before I get into this reading, which is real juicy, I want to acknowledge that it is MLK Day in the United States, and it is also the inauguration of criminal in our country, and it's a sad, weird day. And so I want to share and honor just a couple of um, MLK quotes that don't tend to get shared a lot that I think are really valuable. So, um, I think I want to start with the evils of capitalism are as real as the evils of militarism and racism. The problems of racial injustice and economic injustice cannot be solved without a radical redistribution of political and economic power. And again, we have deluded ourselves into believing the myth that capitalism grew and prospered out of the Protestant ethic of hard work and sacrifices. Capitalism was built on the exploitation of Black slaves and continues to thrive on the exploitation of the poor, both Black and white, both here and abroad. And I'm just going to set that right there. Those who know, those that get it. The final quote of his that I want to share that is a beautiful segue into this reading is be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, just be a trail. If you can't be a sun, be a star. For it isn't by size that you win or fail. Be the best of whatever you are. And that's going to be really relevant in this reading, in these cards. The other thing that's going to be real relevant in this reading, in these cards, is mother wound. I am talking to the mother wound big time. That is a big part of what came out in these cards. So I'm expecting some DMs. I'm expecting some comments. This one might feel a little bit a little sharp, a little spicy, but this is the message that Source gave us. If you haven't seen one of these readings before, I do them at the top of each astrological season. And we always ask the same 6 questions in the same order. The cards have been pre-prayed over, pre-shuffled over, and I shuffle the deck. The cards that want to come out jump out of the deck. I take notes to make sure that I hit everything that's coming through because my channel gets a little noisy. Let's get it. Let's go. So we always start with what's going on right now. And the card that we got is what is already within you. This card is letting you know that you already have everything you need for whatever it is that you've been wanting to do. It's already inside you. You have in your hands exactly what you're seeking. So you're either realizing that right now, like you just realized, I can start, like I'm ready, I don't need anything more, or you're being asked to realize it right now. That's what's going on right now. And the thing that I always picture, I don't know if y'all have ever done this, is like you're looking all over the house for your phone, but you're talking on your phone. If you've ever had that experience, right? You're looking for your glasses are on your head. That is what this card is about. Everything you need to be successful, you already have it, but you keep looking for something outside of yourself, telling yourself you don't have it yet. You've been seeking, seeking, seeking everywhere for a long time. This thing that's actually like right under your nose, it's in you. You might not really like this. Sometimes it can feel really important to imagine that there's something yet to find. There's something out there that's bigger and better than what you currently have. That fantasy of something out there that's going to complete us and make us better, make us more worthy, it's very compelling. And sometimes letting go of that fantasy feels like letting go of something that we have found really comforting for a lot of our life. But as long as you believe that there's more you have to find or more you have to be, more you have to do, you don't have to start. As long as you stay in, I'm not ready yet, there's more I have to do to get ready, you're off the hook, right? As long as we stay in, like, maybe I need one more certification, maybe I need to learn two more things, maybe I need to take two more courses. As long as we're in that perpetual student mode, for a lot of us, student mode is very safe and very fun. We love learning stuff, we love acquiring new skills. But when it's time to go out and apply them, we're like, oh, I'm not ready yet. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Now, of course, there is unlimited creative potential in the world. There's always something more that you can learn and do and be. That's beautiful. We will never stop that. But in this instance, in this moment, it's important for you to know that you already have exactly what you need in order to start doing the thing you want to do and be successful. It's time to give up the fantasy that a perfect solution exists out in the future somewhere. And instead, you've got to acknowledge that everything you need to be successful is within you right now. Once you accept that, and you're like, I can just start right now, I can start with what I have right now, and you start to act with everything you have available to you, now you're opening yourself up to that future you've been looking for. This is good news. This is about no longer thinking of the future as a place where everything is going to happen for you and starting to accept that it can happen right now. You've got to get really present with what is. From here, from getting present with what is, with what you have right now, and doing what you can with what you have right now, the next phase can open up for you naturally without a lot of force. You might be telling yourself, or maybe historically you've told yourself, I don't have enough to start with. I don't have that much. You might feel like you don't have enough to get started. And it might just be the first step is I have one choice to make. I have one blog post to write. I have to send an email. I have to apply for the thing. I have to have a conversation. I have to drop this offer I've been sitting on. Whatever the first step is, with what you have right now, no matter how small it is enough to get started. Don't make the mistake of believing that what you need to be successful has already passed either, right? You don't want to get into thinking, oh, I could have been successful if I had done this. Like, what I used to get into this a lot. Like, what if I had had parents who were really, really supportive of my art and I had gotten to go to like school of the arts? Like, how would my life be different if I had had more behind my training, right? Like, has my window passed? Has my ship sailed? It's not in the past either. You can't miss it. It's not missed. It's not too late. It's not about other people or how other people can help you. It's not that it hasn't happened yet or it's somewhere in the future or you need to learn more. You have everything you need to take the first step right now. And from that, everything else will flow. Source wants you to know in this, you're more ready than you think you are. You're more prepared than you realize. You don't need to have every single step planned out. You don't need an army of resources to move ahead. You're going to find that once you start, more resources are going to appear. That's how it always works. What you need in this moment is just one sweet act of nourishment, nourishing the materials you have right now. That's going to be enough to take you out of the past, right? Looking nostalgia, regret, or the future and getting into future tripping. And if I had this, then I can do it. Or once I have that, then I can do it. You've got to be brave. Look at what you have right now and start with where you're at right now. One of the things I'm so glad, tap into your Ashe said, this is so good speaking directly to me. Ashe to you for that. One of the things I'm thinking about with this is niche. I frequently have this conversation with people about niche where they're like, I have to figure out my niche. I have to figure out my niche. And I used to be in that too. I'd be like, I don't know what my niche is. I have to figure out my niche. No, your niche is not something that needs to be like figured out. Just look at like who shows up for you already. Who are the people who always come to you for help? Who are the people that you are already in community with, that you're already in conversation with? Those are your people. They're already there. It's just about giving up the idea that there's something out there that's bigger and better that you haven't figured out yet. Once I was like, oh, my people are creatives, they're spiritual practitioners, they're healers. That's because that's who I've always been in community with. Those have always been my people. I know how to talk to them. I know what we struggle with. I know what our concerns are because I am us, because I've always been us, because these are the people I've always known. It's always been right here. And once I stopped thinking that it wasn't good enough, that what I had, what I knew wasn't good enough. And I could just be like, oh, like, where am I already resourced? This is the question to be asking yourself. Where am I already so resourced? This is a question that will change your life. I ask myself this all the time. Anytime I start to slip into scarcity or fear or lack, where am I already so resourced? That's a generative question. All right. So what's going on for you right now is you're either coming to accept, I have enough to start. Whatever this trip I've been on is, I don't have enough to start. I'm not ready yet. That's done. That's over. I have enough to start. Or you're being asked to recognize that right now. Now this is about to get spicy. Are we ready for the spice? I hope you are, because here it comes. Ready or not. Ready or not. The block. What has been blocking you from recognizing that you already have enough to start right now? The block is free from judgment, free to love. This is mother wounding. This card is about feeling cherished in the arms of the universal mother. Some of y'all, if you found this reading, you are struggling with receiving. You do not like to receive help, affirmation, abundance. You are not comfortable with people giving to you. You help everybody. You have a deep, maybe secret wound that's like, nobody helps as much as I help. You're always the strong friend. You're the go-to. You're the reliable one. Everybody relies on you, but you feel like nobody gives to you as much as you give to everybody else. And I'm going to share this with you right now. It's probably because your mama. I know for me, it's because of my mama. Um, if you have a nobody helps as much as I do wound, if you are always the strong one that never gets the type of support that you give to everyone else, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not because nobody's willing to give it to you. It's because you won't let them. You won't let them. You won't let people in. You're not asking for help. You're not letting people support you. The song that my channel's real singy today. The song that's like rattling around is Big Bass Boat. I was raised by a woman who was hard to impress. And I carry that shit real deep in my chest. Like when I first heard that, I was like, oh, gutted, like run it back, like, and do. And do, like when you have that feeling of like, I didn't have unconditional love, I didn't have unconditional nurturing, the mother that my human mother who was supposed to give me that example of what it feels like to believe that you have everything you need to succeed, that you are unconditionally worthy. I didn't have that. Right? Like maybe I had a mother that was really demanding. Maybe you're the kind of family where like if you got a B plus, it was why isn't it an A? Maybe you always felt like you had to prove that you're worthy of love. I have to prove it. I have to work so hard. Maybe you had a narcissistic mother, a withholding mother. You're raised believing you have to prove that you're worthy of love. This card is about understanding that life mothers us. The universe mothers us. God mothers us. We're being mothered through challenges. But if you don't know how to accept mothering, if you don't believe that you're worthy of that mothering, if you don't trust mothering, you're not letting it in. So you're fighting for everything. And we're being asked, that's the block, right? To live life is about being asked to go through life with absolute trust in the universal mother, in the divine, in the fact that we are being mothered by life. So in order to heal this block, you're learning about mothering and being mothered. And this doesn't necessarily have anything to do with human children, right? Or having children. It might. But based on this reading, I think it's about being a mother to your creative work on earth, your mission, your divine mission on earth, what you came here to do, the things you're here to birth and create. Those are the things that you need to mother. But also, in order for you to mother on that scale, groups, communities, purposes, big things that need your devotion and your mother energy, the thing that you want to create that needs your nurturing and your fierce mama bear energy to protect your project and make sure that it grows up healthy and big and strong. Like that's what we're looking at here. And I'm really sure that that's what it is because of this other card that comes up later about how to deal with other people during this time in our life. In order for you to give on that level, for you to heal and help and nurture humanity, for you to serve dozens, hundreds, thousands of people through your work, you have to be able to receive abundantly. That's how that works. That's how the reciprocity of energy on Earth School works, right? As much as you want to be able to give, you have to be able to receive in equal measure. So, ooh, it's hot. So if you're looking around right now at your life and you're like, I'm not receiving enough, it's scarce, it's scarce, it's scarce. Well, how much are you letting in? How much receiving are you willing to hold? How much do you tell yourself is too much? How much love? How much care? Because some of y'all want a 7-figure business, but you can't even accept a compliment. That's it. I'm done. Goodbye. I'm logging off. No, I'm not. But for real, let's get into it because you want, and you want to serve, you want to give, you want to serve, you want to give, but you won't let anybody help you with anything. How's that going to work? That is the block. The reason that you don't believe that you have enough to be successful as you are right now, the reason you keep searching outside of yourself for something that's going to make you better and make you ready is because you're not tapped into the feeling of universal mother within yourself. You're not allowing yourself to receive on the level you need to receive in order to give as big as you're trying to give. Your work, the thing you're here to do, is about the universe, is an aspect of the universal mother on the spiritual level. And again, this is not about gender. It's not about having human children. This is about healing. It's about creating. It's about something that helps people on this plane. You're in some type of healing, helping profession. And I believe that art is included in that. You want to make beautiful things that connect to people. The thing you want to create, the thing you want to share, it's here to help the collective. You believe in life. You're a compassionate person. You want to help people. You have a deep, extraordinary, natural tendency to nurture life around you. You like taking care of people. You like being there for people. Now, the challenge for you is that you've got to open yourself up to receive more nurturing back. You want to help everyone. You want to give to everyone. You have to let them give back to you. You have to be good at receiving help and nurturing yourself, asking for help, accepting help, being in your gratitude. That question, where am I already resourced? That brings us back into, I do have help. I do have people in my life who would help me. I'm not asking them, but do I have them? Yeah, probably. Do I feel really uncomfortable about asking them? That's the shadow. There's the work. Where am I already resourced? And how do I allow myself to use those resources versus pushing them away and being like, no, but I can't use those resources that I have. Why? You need to. Receiving help, allowing yourself to be nurtured makes you feel very vulnerable. And in order for you to give at the level you want to give, in order for you to be successful at the level you want to be successful, you're going to have to open yourself up to being able to receive in an equal measure of your giving. I'm going to take it into business. Think about it. You want to help hundreds and thousands of people in your business. That means you have to be open to a very high level of appreciation, money, abundance, support, accolades. You're helping hundreds of people. They're sending you testimonials. They're telling you how great you are. They're telling you how your work changed your life. They're sending you money. If that makes you uncomfortable, source is not going to give it to you. If one person giving you a compliment makes you uncomfortable, how are you going to get hundreds of testimonials? Source isn't going to give you more of something that hurts you. It's going to wait until you're ready, right? If you feel like when people pay you for your work, you feel uncomfortable, you feel like they're doing you a favor, you're like, oh no, I feel so weird about asking for money from people. Source isn't going to give you a 7-figure business. You're not comfortable making $700. We've got to get that receiving opened up. You're tired. You're taking care of everyone else. You're putting yourself last. You do not let life support you back. That is not universal mother energy. When I typed these notes, I was voice to type and I said, this martyrdom is not universal mother energy. And voice to text wrote it out as martyr dumb, D-U-M-B. And that is what it is. Martyr energy is dumb. It is not universal mother energy. And I don't mean it's really dumb. I'm not honest like that. But when we really think about it, the Divine Mother wants to help the helper so that they can keep helping. The Divine Mother doesn't want to see you burnt out, right? And for a lot of us also, this maybe the wound is that this was the example of motherhood we witnessed. If you had a mom who was up serving everybody, mom eats last, if you grew up with a mother that you never saw do anything for herself, if you grew up with a mother that you watched as a pinnacle, as a pillar of self-neglect, if what was modeled to you as the ideal of femininity or of mothering of that gender was to self-sacrifice to the point of being a husk of a person. You don't want that either, right? You grow up into being that and you're like, oh, what it means to be a good person, to take care of people is to give everything to the point that I have nothing left for me. That's not universal mother energy. That is a distortion. This ultimately, this wound is about love. This is about you learning to love in a different way. Your desire to help the collective, that's agape love. That is divine love. The fact that you want to help humanity, that you want to help people, that is the truest expression of love. And in order for you to give this much love, you must allow yourself to receive it, or you will become drained, you will become depleted, you'll get lost in despair, you will burn out, you will quit. And again, Source isn't going to give you that. Source isn't responding to the nature of your ask. It's responding to the nature of your vibration. And if what you're showing Source is, if you give me that, I will not let it in. I will not accept it. If you give me 100 people to help, I will let that destroy me. Source is like, okay, well, I will not send you that many clients because we don't want that. We don't want that for you. You don't want that for you. God doesn't want it for you. It's not going to happen. It's also creating a situation where you are experiencing cycles of burnout over and over, and that's always your cap. You must be able to become energized and expanded by your dedication to service, to life, and to love. And the only way you can do that, the only way your work becomes mutually fulfilling to them and to you, to them and to you in reciprocity, is by opening up your receiving channel so that you can receive in an equal measure to your giving. This is also putting you in a situation where you feel lonely, even with your close people. And it's not because people don't want to give to you. It's because you don't trust them to. Even if you have surrounded yourself with takers, that's because when givers are in your life, you shut them out and you keep focusing your energy on the takers. You're co-creating, right? We're always co-creating these situations. You feel isolated. And the block right now is in recognizing that this is self-imposed isolation. You're connected to everything. You're connected to everything. The air in your lungs is the air in the trees. The water in your blood is the water in the ocean that is moved by the moon. The flesh in your body is the flesh of the stars and the earth itself. You are inherently connected to everything, nurtured by everything. Your block is that you don't let yourself believe it and feel it. But it's happening, right? There are people in your life right now who would help you if you let them, and you're not asking. This must be healed. In order for you to have the level of abundance that you're desiring in your life, the level of growth that you're desiring in your life, in order for you to create the success, I believe this is a business that you're wanting to create, you're going to have to heal this wound around receiving. This card is a clear confirmation that the healing and helping work you want to do in the world is a yes. The offer you want to drop is a yes. It is all a yes. Source says yes. You are supported by the divine in doing this work. And so again, when we're looking at like, why would this be the block to accepting that you have everything you need right now, enough to start, enough to be successful right now? Well, if you're operating from martyrdom and overgiving, the wound is you just don't believe you're enough. right? And that's deep mother wound. I don't believe I'm inherently worthy of unconditional love. I believe that love is conditional. I believe I have to work to prove it, right? So you don't believe you're enough. So you convince yourself, I got to learn more. I got to know more. I got to study more. I got to go get more certifications, thinking that at some point, if you do enough, you're going to believe that you are enough, and then you're going to feel worthy of receiving, and then you're going to start. But that's not how it works. You just have to decide you're enough right now. This is deep shadow work. This is a deep block. And I just want to say, it just so happens, this is exactly the work that I do with a lot of my high level clients in Powerhouse Mastermind. So if this is an area where you struggle a lot, where you're like, I'm that go-to for everybody else, but no one holds me as much as I hold everybody, come holler at me and let's see if we can get you some support, because high level space holders who give big need high level space holding and need to receive a lot of support. And that is what I do. This is an archetype of many, many, many of my clients. So I know that that is on your noggin, right? We got to get this receiving wound healed. And once we do, what's the gift that comes from healing it? It's inner trust. Duh. When you believe that you're worthy of receiving just as much as you give, when you believe that you have everything you need to be successful, you trust yourself. You're no longer looking for disaster. You're no longer waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're no longer bracing for impact. You just trust that you can handle everything life throws at you. And that's what makes us able to put ourselves out there in life and in business with our work. It's not planning meticulously so that nothing ever goes wrong. It's believing that when things do go wrong, you can just trust yourself to handle it. Once you heal this mother wound, you're not going to need to hide yourself from the world and play small anymore. You're going to be able to let go of any doubt about the wonder of what's already within you, the value of what's already within you, because you're going to trust yourself. You're going to trust your intuition. You're going to trust your own sense of things. You're going to trust your body, right? When you feel your heart open towards something, you feel expanded by something, you move toward it. When you feel constriction around something or contraction around something, you walk away. You trust yourself to find the most authentic and self-loving way to handle whatever comes. You trust your gifts. You trust your work. You trust your feet on the floor, right? Like that is what comes when we tap into trusting ourselves. Trusting ourselves means I trust that I'm enough. I trust that I'll be able to handle it. I don't need to be afraid. Okay, also, a thing that happens when we are raised with conditional love and believing that we have to earn love and be worthy of love, the reason we're always bracing for impact and feel like we're not going to be able to handle it if stuff goes wrong is because historically, if something went wrong, you would mercilessly beat yourself up about it. You're going to make your life so fucking miserable if you drop an offer and it doesn't sell. You're going to berate yourself so hard if you make a post and it gets negative comments. You're going to be so mean to yourself. You're going to withhold so much love, right? If I feel like love is conditional and if I don't meet those conditions, I'm going to be hurt. Well, guess what? I don't want to try anything because I'm afraid of the punishment of what will happen if it goes wrong. When that is healed, when we believe there's nothing we can do or not do, say or not say, be or not be, wear or not wear, weigh or not weigh, there's nothing we can do that would make us less worthy of our own love, our own appreciation of having our own back, then we are safe to make mistakes. We are safe to fail. We are safe to try things and have them not work out, but we're only safe if we trust ourselves that things can go wrong and we're not going to hurt ourselves about it. So the gift that comes from healing this mother wound is that we gain that trust. You have been unnecessarily holding yourself back out of fear, out of a lack of belief in your gifts, your skills, your talents, your abilities, and your ability. You're not trusting your ability to support and care for yourself. You're not trusting the importance of self-expressing in your relationships. And when the mother wound heals, this heals. And you tap into a sense of, I know what I'm doing. And from there, You're safe to unhide yourself from the world. If you know what you're doing, you can put yourself out there. That's what's going to allow you to really take big swings in your work and put yourself out there with your creativity, because you can trust yourself to go for it. And you know that you're going to nurture yourself and love yourself and have your back no matter what happens. This is a relief from self-doubt and playing small. This is about courage and boldness and big leaps. And you're able to have courage and boldness and big leaps when you trust yourself to be a safe space to return to when things are hard. When you trust yourself to have a relationship that is full of love and nurturing, when you're going to receive love and nurturing from others and from yourself. That only happens when we heal this block that we have around receiving and believing that we're inherently worthy. So, how do we deal with other people during this healing time and during this start, right? This starting with what we have. The way that we deal with it is new birth, guarded vigilantly. We've got to be real protective and real tender with this first step into putting yourself out there, this first big swing that you're going to take, and this healing, right? I think about when you're growing a plant from a seed, you don't just go put it outside in the soil, right? Like you take the seed and you like put it on the damp paper towel in the cup and you put it in the kitchen window, and then you like talk to it every day and you wait until you see the little sprout, and then you like nurture the little sprout, and then once the sprout gets big enough, you take it from the little wet paper towel in the cup and you put it in a little pot and you give it plant food and you talk to it there, and it's in the kitchen window and you're taking care of it every day, and then maybe it's ready for a slightly bigger pot, you move it to a slightly bigger pot. Then once you can trust this plant is big and strong enough for me to put it outside and it will be okay in the elements, then it goes outside. That's what your thing that you're creating, your business, your offer, this next level, this creation that you want to make, that's what this thing is right now, right? Like you want to take care of it right now. It's a vulnerable time when something's brand new, and that's okay. That's not wrong. We want to let it be vulnerable. That is this mama bear energy, this mothering. You keep this thing close and you keep it safe until it is strong enough to be out in the world. Now, I want to go back to being scary, right? Like, don't be a scaredy cat. Don't be playing small and convincing yourself that that's the same as guarding vigilantly. Don't try to play a trick on the universe. You know the difference between when you're playing small and not putting yourself out there and not sharing because you're scared, and when you are protecting something and guarding it vigilantly. Don't try to play a trick. This thing you're creating or going to create needs extra care, tenderness, love, and attention in the beginning. It needs you to nurture it into fullness. So that means you've got to let your people in. You got to let your people support you. I saw something recently about how, like, if somebody is starting a new business, you should throw them a business shower, like a baby shower, and like get them things they need for their business and celebrate them. When you think of a new mom, if she's got a good village, your people are coming over. They're bringing food, they're cooking, they're holding the baby so you can go take a shower, they're sitting with the baby so you can take a nap, all of that. You need that right now. You need that as you're starting this thing, because you're doing some deep healing. You're doing this mother wound healing. You're taking a big swing and putting yourself out there. You're letting people be there for you in a new vulnerable way. The first step of that is to let your village support you during this time. Because for you to guard this thing vigilantly, for you to give it the love, the care, attention that it needs right now, you're going to need to let your people support you more so that you can go take care of this new creation while it's in its infancy and it needs more from you. It won't always be like this, but it is right now. And this is going to be part of your healing around receiving. Talk to the people who love and support you and say, hey, right? Maybe it's your spouse and you're like, hey, in the evenings, I got to go in my office and work on this offer. I need you to be in charge of dinner time and bedtime for a little bit. Maybe it's, talking to one of your friends who meal preps and being like, hey, if I give you a little money, will you meal prep for me too? Because I'm going to be really busy because I'm working my day job and starting this business right now. And I want to make sure that I'm eating and taking care of myself, right? How can you bring in the help that you need? Do you need a friend to come just hang out with you while you're working? Do you need work dates at cafes? Do you need somebody to walk your dog, right? What is it that you need to get community around you, supporting you in other areas of your life right now so that you can give a little bit more to this thing that you want to birth? Going back to this receiving wound, that's the thing you've been avoiding. You've been in your head trying to figure out how you can do every single little bit of this yourself. The answer is you're not supposed to. The way you're supposed to be dealing with other people during this time where you need extra attention, extra support, extra resource is to ask for help and let your people in to help you. Now, that being said, don't talk to your hater friends. Don't talk to anybody who's going to make you doubt yourself. Get in community with other people who are doing what you're doing. Get mentors, get into a mastermind, get with your cheerleaders right now. You'll not always need to like cloak this so much. Soon this thing will be able to be planted outside. It will stand on its own. But at the beginning stages, your care is required. This is yours to love. This is yours to nurture right now for you to infuse with care and support. So you got to let people in to support you, but only those that you trust to be in the space to support you. Only those who can handle and add to the frequency of the vibration of what you're creating, right? There might be people in your life who love you, but they're scared of what you're trying to do, right? The people who are going to project fear on you, the people who are going to be like, are you sure? Again, it's frequently family, and it might be your mom based on this. Like, if you know that if you told your mom you're starting a business, she's going to be like, that's irresponsible. What about your degree? Blah, 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 blah. Make you feel bad about yourself. Don't tell her, right? It's not for everybody right now. This is also guidance about keeping your actual sanctuary pure. And I mean your body and your home. So your home, your room, your office, your mind, right? Like keep your actual sanctuary pure for this work right now. This is big, deep healing. This is a big, vulnerable shift. Um, if there's like an unfinished argument that's rattling around in your head, like there's a conversation that needs to be had because it's taking up space in your mental right now, go have the conversation, put it to bed once and for all. You need a safe, nurturing space to do this work and this healing. So if you got to clean stuff out in your house, if you got to give away a bunch of stuff, if you got to go through your wardrobe and get rid of clothes, like whatever it is you need to do to purify your space, to prepare your space for this birth. It's just like so much mother stuff, like this new birth energy of the thing you're trying to create. You need to do that. Now, here's the other thing about keeping your sanctuary pure. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you're fucking somebody who's not good for you to be fucking, you need to cut it. You can't do that right now. You can't be letting somebody who's bad for your mental and emotional health into your body while trying to do this healing work right now. Somebody who makes you feel bad about yourself, somebody who is a taker, somebody who you know is no good for you and you cut it off, but you keep going back. You can't do that right now. You can't, we shouldn't be doing it ever, but like, especially right now, you're trying to like really heal this mother wound. You're trying to heal stuff around believing that you deserve unconditional love. You can't be fucking that person you're not supposed to fuck. I love you so much. Don't do it. Now, a message from your spirit guides. Spirals of manifestation. This card is about, no, this is wrong. This is the last one. Message from your spirit guides is seeing the true you. Funhouse mirrors. That's what this is about. Y'all, this just like is so deep to me. This mother wound, this trusting that you already have enough, this like tapping into your inner trust. This, your guides are like, the problem is you have started to believe, or you believe what other people tell you you are, what other people have told you you are, not what you are. The accuracy of a reflection is about the clarity of the surface doing the reflecting. If I look in a mirror, I see myself. If I look in my front-facing camera, I see a monster. If I look in a muddy pond, I'm going to see myself all wavy and brown. If I look at myself reflected in a swimming pool, right, my face is all wavy. If you look at yourself in a funhouse mirror, it changes the shape of your body. The clarity of a reflection is about the clarity of the surface doing the reflecting. So if somebody is a scared person, they're going to reflect fear back to you. If they're an insecure person, they're going to reflect insecurity back to you. If they're a negative person, they're reflecting negativity back to you. They're making you think that you are those things because they are those things. They are reflecting back to you really a projection, right? So this isn't even about ill will. They don't have to be doing it on purpose. This is just how things work. And source is telling you, your spirit guides want you to know you've put way too much stock in other people's reflections of you, right? So back to this mother wound. At some point, somebody made you think you had to work hard to be worthy of love. Somebody made you think you weren't good enough. Somebody made you think you didn't know enough. Somebody made you believe you weren't strong enough. Somebody made you think you were too small. And you've decided, okay, well, I'm going to take that person's word for it. And that's how I'm going to live my life. No, spirit is not having it. Source says those days are over. We're not doing that shit no more. You're putting way too much stock in what other people have said you are, other people's reflections of you. Also, sometimes, I don't know if y'all have experienced this. I think most people do. Like sometimes with your family, like they still relate to you like you're a kid, or they still relate to you like you're a teenager. And no matter how much you've grown, how much you've developed, how much you've changed, like they're still treating you like you were a kid. And if you were a really rebellious kid, or you know what I mean, stuff like that really happens where your family constantly relates to you like a person that you haven't been in 20, 30 years. And you've got to let yourself trust your own reflection of yourself, your own knowledge of self above what other people are telling you you are, above what other people are saying to you. You are putting too much stock in other people's reflections of you to the point that you're not honoring all that you are and all that you're becoming because you believe too little about yourself. There are people around you who can reflect you more faithfully and help you be more aware of your own greatness, more aware of your own beauty. The friends that you have that always like speak life into you, those are the people you want to be around right now. And if you don't have anyone, get into a container with me and you'll have me. Get into a community with that I've built, get into Powerhouse Mastermind, get into Elemental Entrepreneurship Coven. It's closed right now, but if you message me, I'll still let you in. Like get into groups with people who will reflect your capability back to you. I will tap you in with those people. Your task right now is to start to recognize yourself separately from the reflections of others. You got to stop looking for reflections of yourself in other people's eyes and start to know yourself from within. This is hard. This is big spiritual work. This is big healing. Realizing that you are lovable and you have so much to offer from within, not based on anything anyone else says about you. Again, I'm taking it back to business. There are a lot of people who are like, I'm not going to believe my business is good enough until I'm making a certain amount of money. I'm not going to believe in my offer until people are buying it. But nobody can buy something that you're not putting on sale, but you're not putting it on sale because you don't believe in it, because you're not going to believe in it until somebody else validates it. You're caught in this cycle of needing external validation to believe in yourself, but you can't start to put yourself out there to get things validated unless you believe in yourself. You got to start with you. It's got to start with you. You have to believe that you are good enough, that you are lovable, that you are worthy, that you have so much to offer on your own. Even if you never sold another thing ever again, you'd have to believe that. Even if you never had another lover, you'd have to believe that. This is about you clarifying your own vision of self, getting real accurate in seeing not just your human self, but the divine and eternal within you, the slice of God, the emanation of the universe that you are. You are part of the divine plan, or you wouldn't be here. You are part of the conduit of creative energy that flows through all of holy life on earth. So how can you not be magnificent? Anytime you think you're separate from that, you're in distortion. Period. How can you be both a complete and shining emanation of God and also not enough and unworthy of receiving love, care, dignity, respect, happiness, abundance? You can't. How can you be a conduit of universal love and the desire to help humanity and then also be like, everyone deserves care? Not me, though. Where's that at? It doesn't work. This is moving out of judgment and fear and into knowing yourself as sacred. How can you be not enough if you're sacred? How can you be not ready to share what's within you if you're sacred? Those two energies cannot coexist in your body at the same time. Just in the same way that asking yourself, how am I already so resourced, is it's an evacuation from the energy of scarcity and lack, right? Where am I already resourced? What do I already have access to right now? Lack can't be there. How am I already sacred? How am I right now an emanation of the divine? You can't be there and be in I'm not ready and I'm not good enough. Those two energies can't be in your body at the same time. Source wants you to know that this is actually because you're a really loving, responsible person. In your quest to be accountable to others, because you love others so big, you've taken on too many reflections and feelings from others, sometimes others who were in their own wounding, their own distortion, and you've made their perception of you more important than your perception of you, and more important than God's perception of you. And that ain't it. It's just not truth, like capital T truth. It's not true. So your challenge right now is to the challenge that source is, right? This is the card here is your guidance from source, to let those external perceptions go and acknowledge yourself. And when I say acknowledge yourself, I mean that in like the deepest way possible, like acknowledge the truth of yourself, that you incarnated into a body at this moment, at this time, with these gifts, because you're meant to do something. There's no way you can be that and unworthy at the same time, right? Everything that takes you out of knowing yourself as a slice of the divine is a distortion. And source wants you to know that right now. That's what's going to allow you to do that mother wound healing. Right? I'm not a child of this person who withheld love from me. I'm not a child of this person who abused me. I'm not a child of this person who made me think that the ultimate expression of being a good person was to sacrifice myself. I'm a child of God. I'm a child of the actual divine. I'm a child of the universe. I'm a child of the infinite creativity of source. That's who I am. That's who my mother is. That's who's mothering me. That's the mothering energy I can always tap into. That is a presence that is never an absence. And I can pull from that. I can tap into that. I can use that to remind myself that not only am I enough, I'm fucking magnificent. So I must be ready right now. I must have enough right now, if that is true. The final message from Spirit about, so how do you do this? How do you do this work? How do you bring this into form? Spirals of manifestation. Manifestation, life moves in spirals, right? Not circles, but spirals. It's not linear. And we can get locked into looking for linear progression, but that's not how things work. You're in the midst of a spiral of manifestation right now. Something is coming into being, something is forming, and it may feel further away than ever, but that's because you're looking forward. Again, you're looking to the future, you're looking out there, but it's not out there. It's like just around the corner. I don't know if any of you have this, but a recurring dream motif that I have in my life, I have this dream somewhat regularly. I'm in the dream and I'm like in my house and I look to the side and I suddenly realize there's a whole room or a whole wing of my house that I've never noticed before. Please DM me if you have this dream. I have it somewhat regularly. And there's this feeling in that dream of like, oh, holy shit, I have so much more than I even knew that I had. Like, has that always been here? Like, how did I not know that I always had this? That's what spirals of manifestation is like. It's like you look over and you're like, oh, it's so close. It's always been here. How did I not know? Source wants you to know that sometimes when you feel the furthest away from what you want, it's actually just around the next loop of creation. It's just around the bend. So hold on to your faith. Keep working on your progress. Love and trust yourself and your vision enough to get the help you need, to get the support you need, to see your vision through and do the healing work you need to do to be ready when the thing drops in. Something that I think is really like the ultimate act of self-love. And for those of us who were raised feeling like love was conditional, this is a really big key. When we were raised feeling like love is conditional, or we believe that love is conditional, we think we have to do a bunch of stuff. We have to earn love. We have to work really hard, and then we will be given love, and then we're going to feel like we're enough, and then we can have the things we want, right? And in that, we'll be like, well, I don't deserve help. I don't deserve support. Nobody should do it for me. I have to go earn it myself, or else I won't be worthy, right? Like that's what's happening subconsciously. That's the wounded child programming that's running. The ultimate act of love is to get yourself whatever help, whatever accommodation, whatever support it is that you need to be successful, right? If you're like, I care about the business I want to build so much, if I'm in my lack, I tell myself I have to do everything myself. I have to work really hard. I have to prove myself. And then someday other people will validate me and then I'll believe I'm worthy. No, what it really is to back your own fucking play is to be like, okay, so I have some inner wounds. I have some mother wounds. I have some problems with receiving. I have some self-doubt. If I fuck with my work, if I really want to help people, if I really want to see this dream realized, I just got to go get myself the help. I got to go get a coach. I got to go get a therapist. I got to go do some trauma therapy. I need to do some somatic work. I need to take care of my health. Whatever it is that I need to do, whatever resources I need to give myself in order to be healed enough to do the thing I'm trying to do, that's the love. Right? Getting yourself the support is the love, right? Not judging yourself for needing the support, not judging yourself for the things you don't know. We got to just be like, hey, if this is what it's going to take, if this is the stuff that I need, the ultimate act of love is to get myself the stuff that I need. Again, going back to mothering, I'm thinking of like, if you have a little kid who wants to take dance classes, right? Like, okay, well, they need the shoes. They need the tights. And I'm going to do whatever it is that I need to do to get them the things they need so that they can be successful. That's the act of love. I'm going to back this for them, this desire, this interest they have. I'm going to believe in it for them. And I'm going to be like, yes, you can do whatever it is that you want to do, whatever you set your mind to. And because I love you, I'm not going to be like, well, I guess you're going to have to figure out how you don't have dance shoes. So I guess you're not good enough to dance. You don't have tights, so I guess you can't go. What is that? No, I'm going to be like, okay, well, let me go get you all the things you need. You want to play baseball? All right, like, let's go figure out how to get you a glove. We don't have a lot of money. Okay, I'm going to figure out how to fundraise for you to get a glove. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get you the thing you need to pursue the dream that you have. That's the mothering, that's the love. And we need that. And a lot of times we're withholding that from ourselves. So you're being asked right now to like back your own play. Okay, so you need some coaching, you need some support, you need some therapy, you need to do some healing so that you can be the version of yourself who can hold the thing you're trying to call in. Love yourself enough, fuck with yourself enough, fuck with your dream enough, back your play enough to just get yourself the help that you need. I'm thinking the vision I have in my head is those puppies whose back legs don't work and they have the little wheelie scooter on their butt, right? Like their parents not like just like tough luck, I guess you can't walk. They're like, all right, I love you enough to get you the support you need, the resource that you need to take care of you. That's what I'm going to do for you. I'm not judging you. I'm not shaming you. I'm not being like, well, too bad you're broken. No, I'm going to get you everything you need to be successful. Right? Like that's how you bring this into form. You just get yourself whatever the fuck it is you need to be the version of yourself who can hold the manifestation that you're calling in. This is not about seeing to believe. Anybody can do that. That's what I was saying before about, oh, I'm not going to drop my offer until people are showing me that they're going to pay for the offer. But how can people pay for the offer you haven't dropped, right? Like, I'm not going to let myself put myself out there until I get people praising me, right? I'm trying to rely on external validation to prove that I'm good enough. That's seeing to believe. I won't believe it until I see it. Anybody can do that. This is about believing to see. That's what creators do. That's what leaders do. We go first. Leaders go first. We believe in this thing that only we can see. You believe in your own vision so fiercely, so strongly, until you can create enough of it that others can see it too. We have to believe in our shit strongly enough to enroll people into our vision of what we're creating, into the world we're creating. The thing that you want is just around the next bend. Keep working on your progress. Love and trust yourself and your vision enough to get whatever help and support it is you need to see your vision through. Do the healing work that you need to do. Everything is unfolding perfectly, whether you feel it right now or not. This card is also asking you to trust in divine timing. You're not smarter than God. You're not smarter than the universe. This idea you have that you're late, it should have happened a long time ago, it should already be happened, it should have already since been, that's not true. That's your human impatience, your misunderstanding that somehow your notion of timing is superior to the divine timing of all of life. It's not. It's not. You're not late. You can't be late. It's impossible. Everything is unfolding exactly the way that it's supposed to. The message is to pay attention to all of the synchronicities that are at play in your life. And maybe the synchronicity to pay attention to is that you're here watching or listening to this reading and you're getting the message that you need. You're getting invitations from me directly. Sincere invitations is not a sales pitch. This is a sincere invitation to get help and support at exactly the right moment. Stop overlooking those things. There are no accidents. So start looking for the synchronicities. And when you start noticing synchronicities, you're going to feel like the universe is speaking to you directly, which it is. Also, on timing, your life path is unfolding in harmony with the life path of other people. Your clients, your customers, your collaborators, your colleagues, your audience, all those people, they're all part of this too. You're all going to meet each other at the right time for everyone's greatest benefit. That's impossible not to happen, right? So you couldn't possibly be late. And if you get anxious and try to rush and force yourself to get there faster out of some misguided scarcity that you're late or things aren't working out, they just won't be there yet. This is like rushing to the bus stop. I don't know if y'all ride the bus or have ridden the bus, but I didn't learn to drive until I was like 30. You rush to the bus stop, you just get there early. And now you just got to sit and wait. It didn't help anybody. You don't need the anxiety that comes from rushing towards your destiny. Just focus on right now. Just start with what's within you. Start with asking for people to support you in the healing work that you're doing right now. Start with telling yourself, I don't care what anybody else says about me. I see me. I know that I'm enough. I'm going to give myself what I need. I'm going to back my place. Start giving yourself that right now. Start focusing on what is happening right now. And then from there, you will attract what you want and what you need so much more enjoyably if you're relaxed into what is already within you and working with what you need to work with right now. The future is coming either way. You can chill. You rushing toward the future doesn't make the future come faster. The future is going to future. That's how it works. And then it will be the present and you won't be focused on it. You'll be focused on what's next, right? Like at some point, when are you going to be here? When are you going to be where your feet are? Future's coming either way, whether you stress about it or not, whether you're rushing or not. So you might as well make your time more fun by tapping into being focused on what's right now, the healing that needs to be done right now, and trusting that everything's going to unfold exactly the way that it needs to, and that the resources are going to come exactly the way they're supposed to come when you start backing yourself, rather than waiting for everyone else to give you permission to finally go for what you want. So the shadow work that we have to do this season, the shadow card for this is Ask Body. This is deep earth magic, and we're in an air season, right? So that's important, right? Because Aquarius can take us up and out. This is like, this work it's in here, especially mother wound work. This is about the very nature of the matter of yourself. Get grounded. In spiritual work, the body can get overlooked. We often want to go higher, right? We're all up here. We want to channel. Right? What do you channel into if this is all messed up? Back to like whoever the person you're fucking that you're not supposed to be fucking. If you weren't here for that part, don't let them mess up your channel. The people you have around you, you're not supposed to have around you. The habits you've got going, the food that you're eating that's not so good, the alcohol you're drinking that's not so good. Like you're trying to do big spiritual work out there. What's going on in here? What's going on with your actual physical self? We want to go higher, not deeper. Right now, you got to go deeper. Dialogue with your body is the move. Your body holds not only all your experiences on earth, but the inherited experiences of your entire lineage. If you've got deep mother wounds to heal, you were in your grandma's body, right? You were your mother's eggs inside your grandma's body. You're 3 generations deep of mother wound healing in your own body at this moment. You've got, and probably farther back than that, right? And then on your dad's side, we've got lineage, we've got epigenetics, we have a history of these wounds. So you got to get into dialogue with your body to get to the root of the healing that you need, right? Body scan meditations. When you're doing your meditations, right? Maybe usually you do a guided, or you go into channel, or you're trying to astral project, like body scan. Where am I right now? What's happening with the back of my knee, right? What's happening inside my stomach? What's happening with my hair growing, right? Where am I right now? Paying attention to where your body is at right now. All of this, what's already within you, trusting that you're enough right now, trusting that you can handle whatever comes, giving all of your attention to the thing that you're trying to create right now, and getting support and help for what you're trying to create right now. Trusting your reflection of yourself above anyone else's, that inner knowledge of self, trusting that everything's unfolding. All of that comes back to be where your feet are. Be where your feet are. Be where your feet are. Every time you find yourself future tripping, I need to do this, I'm not ready yet, it's somewhere out there. Where are my feet? Develop intimacy with this relationship, this physical relationship. Be where your feet are, be in your body, be focused on healing in the body, right? Your spiritual work right now, it's not up and out, down and in. Carry hematite. Hematite is very helpful for pulling you back into your physical form. Okay. I know that was a big one. If you are hopping on late in the reading, go back and watch it from the beginning. If you're listening to this on the podcast, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't heard, on February 1st, I'm starting a new, very fun little program. It is called the 75 Soch Challenge. It is 75 days of getting consistent in your marketing. It's based on the 75 Hard Challenge. I'm sure some of you have heard of that. 75 Hard Challenge is pretty hard. I've done it a couple times. It's 75 days of pretty strict habits, but ours is not going to be that intense. But the goal of the 75 days of strict habits is about mental toughness. It's about developing grit, and it's about noticing where you usually quit, where you usually back off, where you usually give up, where you usually start being confronted by the parts of you that want to shut down, and pushing past them so that you can create new habits, so that you can create a new version of self that doesn't struggle with consistency. And in 75 Soch Challenge, we're doing that in the realm of marketing. So many people that I work with really struggle when it comes to being consistent in their marketing. I call it post and ghost, right? Show up for a little while, put themselves out there for a little bit, and then, this is really reflected in our reading as I'm thinking about it. Usually it's if you don't get the praise, the affirmation, the sales, the reflection back from other people that you want right away, you get into your feelings, you say, see, I told you I wasn't good enough, and you give up and you stop marketing. We're breaking that. We're breaking that cycle in 75 days in the 75 Soch Challenge. If you struggle with, I don't know what to post, and that's really a thing that you struggle with, we're going to kick off with a content creation masterclass. The masterclass itself is worth 3 times the price of the whole challenge. We're going to start off with a content creation masterclass where I'm going to break down for you what business marketing on social media is really about. A lot of the advice for social media is actually geared toward influencers and content creators, and it's about how to grow your following and grow your account, which is all well and good, but you can have a really successful, very lucrative business with a very small following. Our metrics, the things that we need to track as business owners, aren't really about growing our following. It's about growing our customer base and speaking to an audience of buyers for our projects and for our products. And so that's what we're going to be getting into in the content creation masterclass. How are our strategies as business owners different Then the strategies for somebody who is just trying to be an influencer or a content creator, you need a big account for that, right? Because your goal is brand partnership and stuff like that. That's not what we're doing. So our strategies really are very different. And I'm going to break down how our strategies are different. What are the things that we need to be tracking, and how do we need to be speaking on social to be creating an audience of empowered buyers for our offers versus just fans who like to watch us? Totally different things. And then every day for 75 days, you're going to do a post. I'm also going to teach you how to batch content. Even if you are a neurodivergent little gumdrop like me and you've never been able to batch before, it took me years to figure out how to batch content in a way that worked for me. I'm going to teach you how to do it. And you're going to share that in our private Facebook group. If you want to do the challenge, every day that you post, you're just going to put a little screenshot of your post in our Facebook group. And we're going to track it. And at the end, everyone who did all 75 days is going to be entered into winning some super fun prizes. It's going to be a really great time. It is going to be incredibly transformative for you as a person and for your business, for your marketing, for your momentum, to really see what you can do in your business with 75 days of showing up consistently. And you're going to break the post and go cycle once and for all by April, right? You're not going into Q3 with this habit under your belt anymore. We're completely going to change it. And it's only 75 bucks. It's $1 a day. So you can sign up for that. Go to intuitiveedgecoaching.com/75soch. You can totally participate and not be as strict. You can kind of do in 75 hard world, they call it 75 soft. You can do your own version. I'm not going to be mad at you if you're like, I'm only going to post 3 times a week, or I really just want the master class and to be in the group. But I highly encourage you to take up the full challenge just to see what happens when you dig into that grit and tenacity of challenging yourself to do something that feels a little bit stretchy. That's why it's called a challenge. It shouldn't seem super easy. And if you want to make it even easier, when you go to check out, there is a option you can add on to your cart for 99 bucks more, 75 content prompts. So there just makes it totally plug and play. You can follow one of my content prompts every single day for 75 days and just do it like that. If that's how you want to do it, the content prompts are fire. So again, that's intuitiveedgecoaching.com/75soch, SOSH, like social media. And I would love to see you inside that challenge. It's going to be super fun. If you have any questions about this reading or anything else, you're always welcome to DM me on Instagram at Intuitive Edge Coaching. You can email me, intuitiveedgecoaching@gmail. If you're listening to the podcast, please leave a 5-star review. It really helps the show grow and more people find it so that I can continue to do more episodes more frequently than I have been. That's it for me today. I hope that this was valuable for you. I'd love to hear how it landed. Okay, love you. Bye.